For the victorious Redskins, burn the game film, and move on. Kirk Cousins trotted into the end zone to finally knock out the wobbling 49ers, and a stadium exhaled. The Redskins were up by 2 scores. They would win going away. They had handled this wacky week, the winless opponent, the pile of injured bodies, the strange officiating, and could now calmly proceed to next week's primetime divisional battle, up-and-coming reputation intact. Ha! Ha ha! It was like, oh, thank goodness, Coach Jay Gruden said, a few minutes after Washington finished off its 26-24 win with all the grace of a 3-legged giraffe walking through greased ball bearings and high heels. And then all of a sudden, bleep, here we go. Or, as linebacker Zach Brown put it, all kinds of stuff just started happening. The Redskins endure more injuries but not a humiliating loss to 49ers. Ugly win does not do justice to this event. This was a win so ghastly its parents would cover it with a mask. A win whose highlights should come with a warning: this video contains footage some viewers may find distressing. It was, say, the equivalent of winning a baseball game via an intentional walk, a passed ball strikeout, a catcher's interference and a hit by pitch. Sorry. From the moment Cousins scored to put the Redskins up by 9 with just 3.5 minutes left, everything went sideways. The Redskins missed the extra point. They allowed a rookie quarterback making his NFL debut to march 75 yards in 90 seconds, capped by a 45-yard touchdown pass on a broken coverage. They recovered the onside kick, but ran the ball 3 times, failed to get a first down, and then punted into the end zone, naturally, netting just 25 yards. That rookie quarterback, C.J. Beathard, who spent his childhood shagging footballs for $50 a week during Redskins training camps, playing catch with Joe Theismann and hanging out with the Party, Petitbon and Gibbs kids, wasn't done yet. Pairing with a coach named Shanahan and a receiver named Garcon, the grandson of former Redskins general manager Bobby Beathard took his team to the Washington 40-yard line with 28 seconds left, needing just a few more yards to give San Francisco a shot at a game-winning field goal. Redskins defenders, a ragtag crew whose ravaged secondary might require its own full-time medic, had been telling themselves, just don't let the 49ers get to the 40. Redskins' banged-up secondary doesn't break. And then when they got there, I was like, yo, what the bleep, joked Brown, the linebacker. What happened next might not make the year-end highlight reel, but maybe it should. After an incomplete pass, Brown saw the 49ers line up for what he assumed would be a pick play. He had seen such penalties called repeatedly against the 49ers this year. They had already been whistled for offensive pass interference 4 times in their first 5 games. Brown also remembered studying a previous 49ers game in which a defender tried to avoid getting picked by Pierre Garcon, which allowed the play to proceed on schedule. The best and worst moments from the Week 6 win over the 49ers. I knew he was going to pick me anyway, so I ran to him, and I ran into him, said Brown, who's as honest as he is smart. But I was protecting myself, too. And when he threw the flag, I was like, good flag, ref. The penalty pushed the 49ers out of field goal range, and they spent their next 3 plays proving why they haven't won a game: incompletion, incompletion, interception. And so the Redskins finished off their very ugly win, the natural NFL complement to Week 4's encouraging moral victory. When the Redskins could have hit the gas, they instead shifted to cruise control. Ain't no such thing as an ugly win, linebacker Mason Foster said. A win is a win to me. So it don't matter if it's by 1 point, a half a point, triple or quadruple overtime, it counts as a W. Fact check, 4 Pinocchios. The NFL doesn't have triple overtime. And half points only matter if you're getting 3 and a hook in Vegas. I don't think fact checkers would ding me, though, if I pointed out that Washington made more than enough mistakes to lose this game. Team leader DJ Swearinger took an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at the end of the first half that turned a field goal into a touchdown. The offense tried, and failed, to get off a quick snap before a Washington first down catch could be reviewed. It was reversed upon review. Cousins threw a near interception that was overturned on replay, and then threw in real-life interception on the next play. Washington failed to get into the end zone on a first and goal from the 3. And all that came before the final sequence, which included that 45-yard touchdown to former Redskins wide receiver Aldrick Robinson, whom the always gracious Kyle Shanahan had made a game captain. "Blown coverage," Gruden said. "You can't do it. You can't do it. Really, what should have happened in that game is even if they do score, we get the onside kick, and then even with their 2 timeouts, we should be able to run the clock out. That's what I was most angry about." He's not wrong. They didn't because the Redskins could hardly run the ball at all down the stretch. Washington's 11 fourth-quarter carries went for 22 yards. But they also didn't because Gruden chose to play it safe, rather than asking his veteran quarterback to bootleg and either make a controlled throw or slide down in bounds. He could have tried to win the game right there, instead of waiting to potentially lose it. "I wanted to throw so bad," Gruden said. "But I thought the right play, based off your guys' decisions, would be to run the ball." It was all emblematic of the final few minutes. A Washington team that should have been good enough to put the 49ers away for good just wasn't able to do it. "We're still enjoying this win, it doesn't matter, but we just can't put our defense in that situation," Chris Thompson said. It's a mature response, from a team that seems unexpectedly wise. Gruden made a point of noting that his own post-game unhappiness was itself a sign of progress. "You can see we're starting to turn a corner a little bit when you're not quite as ecstatic as you normally would be after a win," he said. And it goes without saying that no one should apologize for this result, not on a day when the Atlanta Falcons lost at home as double-digit favorites, not in a league whose only undefeated team, the Kansas City Chiefs, just scored 13 points at home. Had the 49ers handled the last 30 seconds better, had Brown not recognized the pick and sold the interference, had the official not bought what he was selling, the result could have been catastrophic for this season. So just say your thanks, burn the film, and move on. "I'm glad we won, don't get me wrong," Gruden joked. "I just wish it wasn't so stressful. I'm getting old, man. I'm losing hair. Not that there's anything wrong with that." More on the Redskins. Trent Williams didn't feel like himself, but it has more than enough for Redskins. Redskins secondary is banged up, but didn't break. Analysis: when Redskins could have hit the gas, they instead engaged the